Good morning and happy April Fool's Day. My name's Doug McKay. This is the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session. Each morning we come together in these live sessions, take a look at the market macro to micro, the structure, drill down, find our trade levels, find our targets for the day, and build our hypotheses. This is a subscription room. If you want to come in and check it out, I'll put my contact information up in just 1 second. Before I do, please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. If you do want to come in and check us out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com or send a Skype request to Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. And the YouTube video, if you're watching it on YouTube, there's over 300 days. You can check us out. If you like what I do, follow me on Twitter at Crazy2. Okay, so let's take a look at what our main hypothesis yesterday was a move down into the overnight low and into that 45, and then a rotation back up into that 61.50 area. And hypothesis 2 was to go up into the 61 to 63.50 and then rotate down through to the 51, possibly coming down to close the gap. So hypothesis number 2 played out. But we opened up, chopped around, couldn't break out of value. Our value area high was there at the microcomposite VPOC at 61.50. They rotated it down through, tested the range high from the prior day, rejected it, rotated it back up into test the value area low, rejected the value, came back down, and basically just chopped in the gap zone and closing near the midpoint and the VPOC. We broke the IB to the high side and IB to the low side, so we had a neutral day, but we did not get a neutral extreme. So very rotational. Overnight, though, they have, we were talking about that return to the 40-50. If we couldn't hold the 48 area, and overnight they went in and put a high in at 56 and then rotated it down and testing that 40-50. Remember that 40-50 is the microcomposite VPOC of the 8 days in balance that we just gapped up on. So looks like we're going to get a gap down. There's a lot of implications in that. So let me just get the morning routine out of the way, and then we'll go take a look at this. Oh, gold really tanked off. So each morning I start my day, same routine. I'm looking at a monthly, and I work my way down to a intraday chart, and I use a 9 EMA, a 20 SMA, and I'm just gauging where we are within the time frames and whether we're trending, whether we're consolidating, or whether we're rolling over and changing the trend, and it's being challenged or violated. Right now we are in consolidation. We had this beautiful trend. They challenged it. We took it back in March, and now in April we're opening up above the 9 and the 20. Key levels to keep an eye on is going to be the 2016 area again. We'll go over that for why, but that'll put us below the 9 and the 20 again, and challenge this upward trend. Right now we're consolidating for a possible continuation. The weekly, we are seeing that continuation, although we do have a technical gap, and we've had this parabolic move, so it would be nothing for them to come back and come down and test this 1982 area on the weekly time frame. But overall, right now, the trend is up on the weekly. On the daily, same thing, good slope, good separation, prices paralleling the 9 nicely. We came down, We're closing that technical gap again and testing the 9 EMA, see if we bounce. If we fail here, look for them to come down into the 19 area to test the 20 on the daily. Going to the intraday, you can see that we've had this trend up and we've rolled it over in the Globex. Now we're below the 9 and the 20, so we violated the upward trend on the 4-hour. Going to the 1 hour, you're going to see this, that we're starting to trend down on the intraday. There is a naked cross down here, right here, at the 28.50 area. I'd be watching for them to continue to trend down there if we can't get back above the 9 EMA. Going to the 30-minute, same thing. You've got good slope, good separation. The trend is down throughout the whole of Globex. And then 15-minute, same thing, strong trend. Tried to challenge and break the trend, failed. Continuation, good slope, good separation. The trend is down coming into this RTH session on the 15-minute. And then the 5-minute, same thing. You've got good slope and separation, and trend to the downside. So coming into the market in the larger time frame, we're trending up. As we move down, we're trending down in the smaller time frame. So we could see a possible rollover. What we have to pay attention to now is we're gonna gap down and open somewhere down inside of the micro composite. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-day micro composite. The most traded price within that time frame is the 20, 40, 50. We gapped up and consolidated for 2 days and tried to hold value back in this 56, 57 area, and they failed overnight. We tested up to the composite VPOC and the longer term microcomposite VPOC, okay, at the 63. Remember, we're still back inside of this balance area and inside this value area. And we hit the 63.50, and basically between the composite VPOC that goes back to the beginning of 2013 and the microcomposite VPOC that went from October through to the end of 2015, those two price acceptance areas, we found sellers there so far, and they've rotated us down back into this balance, leaving an island top. So the key for me right now is going to be two things. One, do we leave this gap unfilled and we come down here and chop around, okay, and consolidate for another move up? Or do we leave this gap alone, go down and break below the microcomposite LVN between the upper and the lower distribution and leave this as an interim top and make a bigger move down towards this 0675 and possibly down into the 1975s. So it's going to be interesting for the next few days how they handle this gap zone. Because if they leave this gap zone, this is a classic topping pattern, an island top, and if they leave it alone and they don't fill it, then we could see the top in a much bigger move down into the 1900s, and who knows, we could even go all the way down to where this whole thing started down here in the 1881 and 1914 area. So I'm not putting my bear hat on yet because of where we're at, but we are coming into earnings season, and we do have a possibility of a topping pattern here and a rollover. So let's take a look at the levels. Right now we're trading 38.75, so we are putting in a new low as I suggested at the beginning. Our balance right now is 40.75. Our key line this morning below us is going to be this 32.75. Below that, I think we get a bigger move back down into this 25 and possibly this 19 area and test the 16. Anything below 16, then I think we've got an interim top, and I'm looking for a bigger move back with the big target below down at 2006.75. So let's take our overnight levels, and again, we could be putting in another lower low on the Globex, but let me just do our overnight high at 56. Our overnight low so far, I'm going to leave it alone for a minute, work on some of the other numbers, see if they get a bounce. So right now at 20.56, our high of the night, our 20-day ATR downside target, okay, our 20-day ATR is 2140. So our downside target is 2034. Not too far from where we're trading right now. So if we get below the downside ATR target, this could turn into a trend day down. We have to watch for that possibility. We are trading just above the year open right now. Our overnight VPOC is 43.75. There is a LVN here at 50. It coincides with the value area low. So I'm going to have a trade level right here. We're creating a little bit of an LVN here. I'm going to put the overnight low in right now at 38.25. Again, lots of time to go and I think they're going to test. Well, I think they're going to test the year open right now. Let's figure out approximately where our upside ATR target. So if we go off of 38.25 plus the 2140, 2059.65. So that puts us right at our range high from yesterday. Now we're also going to open up with a gap. So currently right now our close was 53.75, and we're trading the year open 37.50. So approximate a half gap is going to be 45.50. All right, and again, we're continuing to make new overnight lows. So we'll have to adjust our levels as we move along. Right now, if we're staying below, if we get below 37.75, I'd be looking for them to come down here and test this 32 area. We don't really need anything else from the overnight profile. Pretty much gives us everything we need except for where the low is going to be. Right now, a touch of the lower Keltner is going to take us down to 36.75, but they should stick around and battle this year open here. So we've got the 32.75. Just below that, there's a little CHVN at 31.50, which I would use to fund below 32. Below 32, you've got some support at 27. We've got the scene of the crime. This is the 2026, the area where Yellen started her speech, where we had that big move up. And just below it, you've got this 25 level and 2450. So I'd be targeting 25 if we get below 32. I'd target the 27 in front of this scene of the crime, and then I'd be looking for them to take out 22 and look for buyers to step in between the 19 and the 17 and that key support area at 16. Below that, okay, we're definitely going to be in a trend day, so I'd be looking for them to make a move down into this 08 area. It's the current low, 37. Again, I think they're going to continue to make a new low here. So it's going to be, you know, we've got a fairly large gap. So right now we got 53.75, and we're trading at 37 area. So we got about a 16.5 point gap. So that's going to give us somewhere around a 15 to 20% probability of filling that gap. So I would expect that we probably have some chop. I mean, my main hypothesis today is going to be a move, you know, a chop around here, probably test the 32 area, maybe 31, find responsive buyers down here, rotate back up through to the 40-50, chop around here, make a possible push up into the half gap, maybe close that naked close at 47, and then fail somewhere around here. That's my main hypothesis. My secondary hypothesis is that we chop around the 40 level and then make a probe higher, come back down to the 40, find buyers, and then make a move up into you know, closing the range gap, and then testing up into the 50 area and closing the gap, and then chopping around inside of value. This is pretty tight value yesterday before the non-farm, and I don't think non-farm really had that big of a move on the market. I mean, we did move up to 46 and then down. So the impulsive move, what looked like to be up, was really, the impulse move was down, retraced back up to the zipper, and then a push back down to test the year open and make a new Globex low. And again, we could see more of a you know, a Globex low, or you know, putting in lower and lower. So how low this can go, this could certainly drift down. Now it is the beginning of the month, so there's also, and the beginning of the quarter, so there's going to be some positioning here in terms of hedge funds and portfolio managers. The other thing we got to keep an eye on is there's a ton of news today. You've got we've got the non-farm that came out a little bit better than expected. Unemployment rate ticked up slightly. Average age earnings was, you know, almost a hit. 9:30, we've got RBC manufacturing for Canada. 9:45, we've got final manufacturing for the U.S., and then 10 o'clock will be the big next one, which gives us the ISM and the U of M consumer sentiment, construction spending, manufacturing prices, revised U of M and inflation. And then we also have vehicle sales all day, and we've got Mester speaking at noon. So there's going to be a ton of news, so expect for a very rotational day with large rotations. But my main hypothesis is to chop around in this area, test some of this lowers. If we do not hold 31.50, then I'm looking for the bigger move down to that 25, where we had that big move off of the Yellen speech. But if we don't break below 31, then I'm expecting to chop around in the 40 with a poke up into this 45 and 47. And then if we get inside of the value area, then I think we make a full trip through value and take out the overnight high. So it's going to be interesting, if we take out both the overnight high and the overnight low. I expect the overnight low to get taken out sometime right on the open. So if we take a look at the Keltner channel, we are testing the Keltner center line, so I'd be watching to see if we get a double Renko reversal here or a Keltner lower line walk. A lower line walk would take us down into that 34 area. A double Renko reversal takes us up into the 42 and gets us above that microcomposite VPOC and possibly a push to the half gap fill. Above the Keltner center line, a move up to the upper Keltner will take us all the way up into the 47.75 and take out this naked close and close the range gap probably at 48.75. So that's going to complete the pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.